The IRGC is calling the shots. Now, the media wants everything to look real bad, right? So they hit Pete Hegseth on 60 Minutes about, is Russia and China giving Iran intelligence? Well, of course they are. Who would think they wouldn't be giving them intelligence? But they play this as if it's the most sensationalistic thing. How dare Russia and China? Of course they're giving them intelligence, just like we're giving Ukraine intelligence. This is just the way big boys play. That's a great answer. It really is. You know, the other part of the reality of this, and I think President Trump spoke to this, is that we expect Russia and China to be giving them intelligence. There's nothing they can tell Russia and China that will stop the United States from enacting its will on Iran. Nothing. The question now becomes, what is our will? Now, is President Trump the one who's stalling? Maybe President Trump has a plan to stall this thing out for a reason. Maybe he wants to just, you know what, let this thing fester, get through the midterms, and then once the midterms are over, maybe all holy hell will be unleashed on Iran. If I was Iran, I'd be very concerned about that's a strong possibility that President Trump could be thinking about that, doing it that way. And so, we shall see. But in the end, something more needs to be done here. J.D. Vance.
I actually think that the United States is in a great position, however the negotiation ultimately shakes out. If the negotiation is successful, which obviously we want it to be successful, you have an Iran that is permanently transformed, that's not funding regional terrorism and instability, that has permanently given up on any nuclear weapons ambition, and that as a result is welcomed back into the world economy. That's a great outcome for the American people. It's a great outcome for the whole region. But Laura, if on the other hand, the Iranians don't behave, if they don't make the concessions in the negotiations that we need to see, their nuclear program is still destroyed, their conventional military is still destroyed, and the United States is still in a much stronger position relative to the Iranians. So my attitude on this, Laura, is we have all the cards in the negotiation. We obviously want it to be successful, but even if it's not successful, we've accomplished the core mission, which is to ensure that the Iranians never have a nuclear weapon. In other words, it's a win-win outcome for the American people. And I think because of that, what you see in the room, Laura, is I think evidence of a real push and pull in their system.
All right, so this is maybe even a more concise way of telling you what I was just trying to say. The mainstream media wants you to think that we're losing. What J.D. Vance just explained is that we've already won. I mean, they don't have a nuclear weapon. There is no way they're going to get a nuclear weapon. It'll take decades to rebuild that. Not a chance. Can they still wreak havoc? Do they still have capabilities? Yes, we've seen it. I mean, no one can argue they don't have capabilities to wreak havoc. They do. But they don't have a nuclear bomb. So in essence, mission accomplished. The question is now, how far do we want to go? And I say regime change is what needs to happen. And it needs to happen in a very, very big way. All right. Hey, I've got a decent surprise for all of you. I'm going back to putting out merch. I stopped putting merch out a while ago. But I've got it now, especially with the 250th anniversary. I thought that I would put a shirt out there. And this is what I came up with. 1776, never surrendered. 250, 2026, never will. America 250. It's got the Stinchfield Army logo on the sleeve. So you get Stinchfield Army logo on the sleeve, and you get this great way to celebrate America's 250th birthday with George Washington right on the center. I think this shirt is cool. And so if you want it, they're up today. GrantStinchfield.com. GrantStinchfield.com. All kinds of merch up there and some cool T-shirts, too. GrantStinchfield.com. GrantStinchfield.com. Go check it out and be one of the first to get on board with your Stinchfield's Army gear. I had merch a couple of years ago. I let it slide. The company that I had wasn't helping me. Now I'm working with Officer Tatum and his crew with the merch. So you'll be well taken care of. Again, GrantStinchfield.com. Get this commemorative 250th anniversary shirt with the Stinchfield's Army logo on the sleeve. And I think you're going to like it. I really do. That's GrantStinchfield.com, GrantStinchfield.com. Shelley says nice. And it's good stuff right there. All right. All right. So now, what else do we have going on? This birthright citizenship, man. What the hell was the Supreme Court doing? Folks, I'm going to tell you, this is the worst decision in the history of the United States. Now, you could argue Roe v. Wade was pretty damn bad. This is equally as bad. We have a real problem with birthright tourism. You know, I mean, China is applauding this. The Chinese Communist Party will continue to send their members here and their wives to have babies here to become American citizens. So, you know, this is the problem. So what did Tom Homan have to say about this?
Exactly right. I mean, the first thing I saw the decision, which I don't agree with, is okay, now we step up enforcement. We step up more enforcement. Even though we're doing record amounts of enforcement now, we need to do more. And not only that, we need to, you know, really buckle down on birth tourism. We have many investigations on birth tourism, but we need to quadruple down on that.
I think the way you double down on birthright tourism is you have to suspend visas for anyone that's pregnant. What's the question? You got to ask a question. Now it's the honor system. Are you pregnant? They say no. Can we test every woman coming into the United States? No. But I think you start to begin the process of testing and asking whether or not they're pregnant. Now, here's what we can track. If they have a baby in the United States, the mother needs to instantly be expelled from the United States because they lied on their form. We can track that. The other part to this is Congress needs to act. Congress needs to step in here. Now, the sad reality is I'm not sure Congress can pass a law that would satisfy the Supreme Court the way it ruled. The Supreme Court ruled that under the jurisdiction thereof, as it's written in the 14th Amendment, means that no, whether we like it or not, anybody here, whether they came here legally or not, is subject to become an American citizen if they're born on U.S. soil.